Hey, everybody, don't forget Big J is going to be in Nashville this week and Austin at Moon Tower. You got a bunch of chances to see us this Friday, April 22nd, 7 p.m. at Antone's live Bonfire show. But Jay's also got 2 shows of the worst. Comics tell tales of the worst situations of their life, all at bigjcomedy.com. Go get those tickets. Go get your badges. Come see a show.
Do the right thing. Dan Soder, of course, going to be headlining the Paramount Theater in Austin, Texas. That is Thursday, April 21st. Everybody get there. You don't have to have a festival badge. You just got to buy a ticket. It's a standalone show and a festival show. What? It's one way, it's this way. It's over there, it's over there. So two-faced. Make sure you check out that and all Dan's dates coming up at dansoder.com.
And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder.
Welcome back to The Bonfire, Sirius XM Faction Talk 103. I'm Dan Soder. That's Big J. Okerson. Our guest has a new album out right now that you can go download called A Feeling of Emptiness. You can also hear on the podcast Lady Journey with Sarah Talamash. Please welcome Katie Hannigan.
Hi.
Hey, Katie.
Thank you.
First time on the show?
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
And also my first time being able to confront the bitch for stealing my man,
Yeah.
Mike Vecchione. We had a 10-year thing going on in Queens. Katie shows up. Other Katie shows up. All of a sudden, the 2555 boys are done.
Oh, I know. So sorry.
You broke up the 2555 boys.
Oh, I asked Mike. I said, "Did he miss it?" He said, "Katie, I'm 50. I had to move out."
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. It's but don't worry, they still moved 2 blocks from each other to make sure it's okay.
It can't be
Yes,
separated.
neighbors.
It can't be separated.
That's because they both just sit in their window sills at night and they go, "What are you doing over there?
I
Is
bet
it,
he's
is it windy over there? It's not that windy
What
over
time
here."
is it there? He's like just 2 blocks away.
Who's the president where you're at?
Katie's album, A Feeling of Emptiness, you can download it everywhere. Katie and I were in Raleigh, had a great time, hung
Great
out.
time.
That was a fun time working, fun weekend of shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about prom before the break.
Oh God, I love it.
You're from Indiana.
Yeah.
Did you have a junior and senior prom?
I had a junior and senior, but I also went sophomore and freshman, baby.
Whoa!
Prom slut in the building.
Prom
Katie,
slut.
Katie hit the
you.
cycle, dude. She went all 4.
Every year you went.
How
Yep.
old was the guy you went with freshman year?
18.
Damn! How old were you?
Statutory rape. I was 14, I think. I didn't even turn.
That's an Indiana bride, though. That's what they call
yeah.
that.
That's fine.
The age of consent is 8.
She goes, "Oh, Katie, that's a field bride."
What part of Indiana are you from?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I was just in Fort Wayne. Odd place.
Yeah, I
Cool
don't
place.
know it that well.
Odd place.
Fort Wayne.
Fun fact, the highest population of Burmese people outside of Burma.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Burmese.
It's interesting.
The people from the second to last Rambo movie.
That's why you had Burmese when you were in.
That is why.
Okay, it all's clicking. It's all clicking. When you went to freshman year, was it your boyfriend?
It was kind of a boyfriend, but it was like a thing where we ended up breaking up very shortly after because I didn't want to give him a blowjob.
Really?
I was nervous. I was nervous of AIDS.
Were you really? That was your fear?
Yeah.
That's how you
You're
get it.
like, dude, you can get it from blowjob.
Yeah.
That's how you get.
You
That's
can.
why if you don't want
Yeah.
to get AIDS, you just got to suck their assholes.
Yeah. You guess-
The Lord's way.
That's,
Catholic.
Yeah, that's not where AIDS comes from.
You can't get it from analingus.
Analing, rim jobbing.
So freshman year, you go to prom. He's a senior.
Yeah.
And then you guys don't hook up, and then he breaks up, and then sophomore year.
But wait a second, I was going to say, do you feel all 4 years, at least on the guy's behalf, sex was expected and you had to figure out how to finagle your way out or be okay with it?
Was it like a sex escape room?
That's what I was. I'm assuming every girl. That's why I always
Solve
found.
a riddle.
Not to interrupt the answer, but that's what I always found was interesting about doing the prom shows, the comedy prom shows.
Yeah.
Oh, I did a few of those.
me
I
too.
did. I did a zillion of those, and it was definitely you could see the audience. It's the guys are usually the ones that are drunk, problematic drunk, or
Yeah.
or just the shittiest like heckling audience members because
You're just-
they were thinking they were going to get laid possibly on this night. They couldn't believe when they asked this girl, and then she goes, "Great idea. Me and the girl's parents are all paying for us to go to Caroline's at 2 a.m.
You're just battling
At
sexual
2
frustration.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You see, and you get. By the way, I used to do okay because I would play to that thing that was happening. I'm like, I know, guys. Like, well, you picked the wrong girls, I guess. Turn it on them. I mean, good for you girls, for your
the
parents.
girls-
But I mean, dudes, this was not how you wanted to. At the end of this night, you didn't picture like, oh, and then I'll watch some fat idiot yell shit at me on stage.
And also, the girls loved the shows because they were like,
They loved them.
They love me.
Yeah,
I said, ladies, who's a virgin? Me.
"Who's gonna stay that way tonight?" And they're all like, "Me, God, please."
But they were like the girls were always like this is part of their party still. They're out,
Yeah.
they're enjoying the comedy show, and the guys were always just like the most like drunk, like
Yeah.
fuck man.
And I know what you think. They probably pay the comedians pretty good money to do that. Not at all. They
Also-
give you $10 to $20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, really.
You guys
Also,
got paid?
yeah. Also, even the ones that were fucking their dates though, they were like too cool for school too. They were almost like, we're here at this kids thing, I guess, because her parents don't know that I'm plowing her on the reg. Like, so he didn't really care, but he was also the guy. It's like, yeah, don't ask me questions, dude. I don't really want to talk to you.
Shut up.
High
Or trying
roller.
to be a smart ass back, like that kind of shit.
Oh, I hate that. That
Yeah.
male energy ruins comedy shows.
Yeah, well, then what's funny is it flips in adulthood,
Yep.
and then drunk women ruin most
They
shit.
really do. They really do.
So, like,
Really
they
is.
pass the baton.
I used to do ballet.
Talk about ballet.
Where's that shift? 30?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
30s
think it's
up.
when your dreams die. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not gonna have a career as a singer.
Yeah. Let me fucking bother this woman.
Donnell Rawlings, they have a video of him say like a comedy club. It's a comedy club meltdown, which seems a bit dramatic for what it is. But like he's arguing with some lady in the audience, and like I don't know like who's right or wrong or where it goes haywire, so I can't say she's wrong. It's just like when you hear the voice in the audience, it's just you could already tell everything about her just from her going. He's like, "Who are you, bitch?" And she's like, "I'm a person who paid money to sit here and be entertained." It's like that kind of shit you hear coming. Like, oh, even if Donnell's wrong and in like engaging this, like this chick does suck.
Yeah.
People get like a attitude like they want to be treated like royalty when they go out. You know, I remember I used to work at Applebee's, and it was like everyone just thought they were the queen.
Of Applebee's.
Come to go table for 4
Yeah.
for Her Majesty.
Yeah. And make that mudslide a little strong, hon.
Oh
I
man.
don't make them. I'm the
Yeah.
seater, and I'm working alone.
I'm a hostess, and I'm double sitting every waiter that I don't like.
Oh, getting called hun.
Oh,
I used to get called big guy
Oh,
and champ
by guys.
and boss. Yeah.
By the guys.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
They'd be like, "What's up, Chief? Let me get 2 Patron margaritas."
Hey,
like,
guy.
And like I was supposed to be like, "Oh my god."
What's the most insulting? You may have already told us. I don't know. What's the most insulting getting your attention like
Dude,
name? They
I was
say?
in the thick of it. No
like
way.
waiter's not bad, but I mean it's
Nah,
not
dude,
great.
When the housing market collapsed and it was all Europe, like rich Europeans coming over, this guy hit me with the boy,
oh,
boy, and I went, "What?"
yeah.
And he went, "Boy, come here," and I was like, "What the fuck? What's up?" And he's like, "Boy, water, no gas," and I was like, "Oh, you're fucking European."
wow,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you need to beef in this country. You don't have to call somebody boy.
I don't know, man. It was fucking wild.
I never got that. I never got little girl.
Little
Here,
girl.
here, little girl.
Thank heaven for little girls.
Well, as a girl, you must get like the princess, sweetheart
Yeah.
from the guys. and all
Beautiful.
that
Excuse
stuff,
me,
right?
beautiful.
Yeah, oh yeah, I kind of like it. I'm like, well, hello. Okay, don't mind if I do.
I think that can go either way. I think there's some people who don't mind. They're kind of like,
Yeah,
I'll
I
pick
think
him
it's
instead.
kind of charming. It depends on the guy, I guess. If he's like a creeper.
Well, it's also the condescending thing. It's like sweetheart. What do we? You know, so you can tell when a guy's being a dick versus like,
Hey, excuse me,
being
miss?
trying to be
excuse
charming.
me, princess?
yeah.
yeah. Pardon me, princess. Or you
Queen
go,
of the-
princess.
Hey,
When
Queen
he's
of-
calling a dog,
Yeah.
princess here.
Princess?
Yeah.
Princess!
I mean, compared to like, I've had a guy like come up to my ear and be like, you know.
Oh.
I love a princess over that. Or, you know, like somebody, you feel like a phantom hand grabbing your ass. You're like, what?
Oh,
Damn,
So-
really?
Oh,
damn. Yeah, dude, waitresses take it, man. Because as a waiter, you're a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
They're assuming you'll fucking probably get physically violent. A woman, they like, how many times did someone touch the small of your back?
Oh, it happens all the time.
I used to watch it happen at Dos. I would just watch a guy walk up and be like, "Hey, with that bill," and then you just see the fucking
Ooh. Yeah.
the arm come out and be like on their small of back to guide
like
you.
a Murray Hill personality
Yep.
type that does that.
At this point, my new hand thing behind people don't feel it happening, but I'm full fist or lobster claws behind their back. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know who to touch or put my hand on who or
I
where.
like that. Just excuse me, something's wrong.
No, it's just something to do with my hands because or if not, I'm doing this behind everybody, which is just as weird. So I just kind of like do things with my hands, like,
Yeah.
Sir,
I
is
like
your-
a finger just out,
Yeah.
just penetrating.
I like to give him the Jimmy Snuka, just all the way
Double.
all the way on the side. Hands up here. When you went So you go freshman, sophomore year to prom.
Yeah.
It's crazy to go all 4 years.
Yeah.
Did you know it was crazy to go
Indiana
all 4
home run.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you like, suck it, you ugly bitches?
Yeah.
I'm going 4 years in a row.
I
For
was
the
like,
cycle.
oh, of course I'm going to prom. I'm a freshman.
Did you ever reuse a dress? Were you like freshman year?
My mom made all of my dresses. My
That's
mom
the
made
most-
every single prom dress that
It's
I
the
had.
most Indiana thing you've
Yep.
It's
said.
like you're like Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
She really did?
She did. And
Was
she,
it like hype up to the prom for like a month? She's like in the living room sewing, watching
Do you know
60
who else did
Minutes?
that? Carrie's mom.
So,
Yeah, we have
heads
a lot
up.
of similarities.
Yeah. A lot of lamb's blood, a lot of
Yeah.
screaming.
When you killed your mother with mind scissors.
Do you
But
still have your dresses?
I do. I remember I tried them on like a couple of years ago, and I was
just
like,
with a
man.
bottle of wine
Yeah.
after a breakup.
Watching Bridesmaids.
Mascara
This was
coming
my
down the
peak.
face.
Yeah.
I still got it. I still fucking got it.
No, I couldn't fit in them though. I was like, sad.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's got to be a thing where you're like, fuck you, life.
Oh.
You couldn't fit in your prom. What are you, a tadpole in high school? You're
Yeah, I
tiny.
was small. I was a little small.
Look at
girl.
Black Lou, dude.
It's Black Lou prom.
Look at Zoot Suit Riot.
Whoa.
Damn.
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi.
Oh, we already said this.
Cab Calloway.
By the way, put these next to each other. Absolutely. Black Lou, when he was younger, dressed and looked like the guy who they think killed Tupac or Biggie.
Did you shoot Biggie in fucking Los
Like
Angeles?
the cop? He was like the cop. He was
Yeah.
like the cop who...
The sketch of the guy that shot Biggie in L.A.
Damn, I didn't know Black Lou killed Biggie or Tupac. I can't remember which one.
It was Biggie.
He was involved in both?
It might have been. So junior year, did you go with the same guy or was it 4 different dudes?
It was 4 different dudes, but by the time I started junior year, I was smoking pot. So I went with a group of friends. I was cool. So we were all stoned out of our minds and just laying down. I put my head out the window because I thought I smelled like pot, and I just showed up with my hair was like a mess, just falling all over
Your
myself.
date had to be a senior, though, right? It was always a senior.
No, my date was, I think not for junior. I
Yeah,
think
we
my
had upperclassmen.
Yeah.
If you were a junior or senior, you got to go to prom.
Yeah, that's what we did.
You got to
too.
go to 2
You go to
proms.
prom
There's
twice?
two separate proms, right? There's a junior prom and a senior
Everyone
prom.
was mixed. It was everyone together, but you had to be an
not
upperclassman.
ours. There was a junior prom and there was a regular.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
ours
ours
was
was mixed, I think.
Ours was
Yeah.
juniors and seniors. It was upperclassmen.
Yeah.
Midwest shit.
The Indiana
cool.
Roof Ballroom. Oh, so classy.
Oh, wow.
Did it turn?
What were your themes?
I don't remember having themes for the prom. I remember that
I don't remember ours, but I remember there was one. I just don't remember what. I don't think
Yeah,
you
it's always
dressed
like
up as
under
it.
the sea.
Yeah,
or something.
that's
I
always
was probably
what it
too
is.
cool for that. I was probably like, sorry, I'm on drugs.
Yeah, I'm doing hardcore. I'm doing class 1 narcotics.
I'm on pot or whatever.
Yes,
You went friends, so you went with a junior was your date.
No, actually, it was my friend who was a senior, and I think we just went as friends that year.
like that's got to be established. You're like, we're going as friends.
He tried to dance with me, and I was like, no, and then he died. He died like a few years later. So I always regretted it. I'm like, I should have blown
that.
him.
Is that why? Is that why when you wait?
prom.
When
It was
you wait,
because of that. It was because you didn't dance with him. That was the exercise he needed.
that would have been the time that stopped him from his untimely death. And
He
now
was like, "You want to dance?" She was like, "No." He goes, "Maybe I'll try heroin right now."
maybe I'll go see if I can lay down in the middle of the street and cars can drive over
He goes,
me.
"You know what? I'm happy she said that. I'm going to start taking to risky base jumping."
I'm gonna get into chicken. I'm gonna get into chicken with trucks that are.
What did he
coming.
die from? Like sick medical
Motorcycle accident.
motorcycle
really?
Yeah,
accident.
he did. I know it's very metal. It's
What
very
if-
Indiana.
What a fucking 1950s! It's
I know
like a
3
Tom Petty
people.
song.
I know 3 people that have died of motorcycle accidents, all from
Jesus
Indianapolis.
Christ. I don't know
Yeah.
3 people in history, not even in my life, that have died of motorcycle accidents.
Also, what are you hanging out with the Mayans? What are you hanging out just bikers?
Yeah, I'm kind
She
of
goes,
cool.
Anyway, growing up the daughter of a warlock.
She goes, yeah. So shit comes downhill. Hell's Angels show up, and let's just say their indie chapter, not a nice group.
And not careful.
I'm not careful. They
The
were
Sons of Hannigan.
So now the ghost shows up every night in his prom in his tuxedo.
Yeah, dance with me. I'm
Now
like,
Vecchione has to
He
deal
wants
with
to
it.
drag race. Yeah, Vecchione has to drag race a 1950s guy.
Vecchione's
The
like,
ghost keeps coming back.
thank God I keep my cardio up to wrestle with these ghosts.
But he's so sweet, though. He'd be like, go for it.
Yeah, he's like, dance with him. The guy's
I know.
coming back.
I told Mike I had a guy who was texting me during the pandemic, some guy I went on dates with, and I told Mike the whole story. Mike's like, give him a break. I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's so like understanding. He's like, he seems like a nice guy.
He's asking for non-tasteful nudes, and Mike's like, we're all locked inside. Help him a guy out,
Oh,
would you?
come on. Do you want me to send you back the ones you sent me?
Yeah.
Like Playboy level, nothing crazy.
Nothing nuts.
No splitting lip.
Nothing
Just
fucking-
like, tasteful dead-ons.
Dude, my favorite, I was trying to tell someone this story of before the pandemic, when Katie and I started dating. And Katie came over to my house to watch TV, and we're on Netflix just like going around.
Oh my God, is this a cheerleading thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so funny. You have to tell this story.
Katie Hannigan got the worst impression of Katie Nolan.
I really did. I thought I was like, oh my God, this girl is nuts.
She's like, this girl's cancelable. So it's like Netflix, and we're watching the show Cheer, which is like Last Chance U, but for cheerleading. Mm-hmm. And the town it takes place in, they literally have a fruitcake factory, a factory that makes fruitcakes.
It's the only job in the town.
It's like one of the big industry things in this town, right?
That's important backstory.
So it's about cheerleading, and obviously there's male cheerleaders. So we're at home, Vecchio, Katie Nolan and I, and we're all watching this thing. Katie's doing spots. Katie Hannigan shows up late after doing spots, and we're like mid-episode 2. And we're like, oh, jump in. It's a show about, we're like making fun of it. We're having fun watching it. And so we're watching it, and like a couple of the male cheerleaders show up, and they're like, and then Katie Nolan just goes, all right, whatever. Maybe they get jobs down at the fruitcake factory. And Katie's like,
I thought it was homophobic.
She's like, what kind of old school homophobe is Katie? She's like, what are these guys working down at the fruitcake factory? And then I'm watching like trepidation between the two Katies. And I'm like, wait, did you know that there was a fruitcake factory?
I know. Meanwhile, I was like, I witnessed a hate crime from
but
Dan's
the joke's
new lady
definitely
friend.
still.
Yeah. That it was
The
good.
double entendre there.
But that was the double It was the double
But she was saying she's out of just nowhere.
She thought
It's
she was being like,
these
what is
guys
this,
are
the
just-
queer fucking factory?
Yeah, that is weird out of the
So
gates.
it's funny watching Katie be like, what the fuck's up with this chick?
It's like somebody dropping an N-bomb joke really quick into meeting them, and you go,
Like, why-
it was funny, but we have to know each other. It's like, I have to realize, I have to make sure you're not doing this like, right? Like, with elbows in my ribs. She goes, but seriously though, right? I'm like, no, not that.
Just watching Katie be like, I guess they could go to the fruitcake factory.
If that's a thing.
And then I'm like, and then I paused it. I was like, oh, you don't realize what had happened when we explained it to her. She's like, because they never brought it up again. It was just in episode 1, and then they keep going and being like,
Do you think the guys? You think when the people are driving on their jobs in the morning to the job at the fruitcake factory, that they drive by the cheerleading practice and they go, they say our place is the fruitcake factory.
it looks like they opened up a satellite fruitcake.
He goes, oh, I didn't realize there was competition in town for fruitcakes.
Yeah, you have to be like a certain type of person to be using fruitcake like liberally like that. Like,
Yeah, just be like, what's up, fruitcake? Because it is an old school kind of
it's
homophobe
very
term.
yeah, it's like,
What is this guy's a fruitcake?
he is chipper and fruity.
Yeah.
What are we in the
It is
50s?
funny how they do hit your ears. They're like sissy. I've always found to be like an aggressive one.
It's almost just
Far
bad.
more than faggot. Because
Yeah.
I've always heard that word more in context of like not a hate crime, but like buddies talking shit to each. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I've never, like someone's like goes, that dude's a sissy. It's always been like in an anger.
Yeah.
Like, yo, is this dude a sissy coming at me? You're like,
Yeah.
Oh, but women are strong. Women's Month.
She looks to Christine. Christine.
Solidarity.
Yeah,
Super
solidarity's the
no,
lady.
Christine's them day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christine, you didn't hit an Indiana home run. Maybe you get 4 proms in, and you could celebrate Women's
I didn't
History
go to
Month.
any prom.
Did you hook up after any of the proms?
After my senior one, I did, but my boyfriend and we had been together for like a year and a half at that point.
Oh, so it's old hat.
Yeah, I was a slut by then, for real.
Which
I think my prom was like my second or third time having sex with that girl.
Jay took a 22-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
grown
you got
lady.
molested.
He got a school-sanctioned molestation.
And I'd like to say I was a pretty young 17.
Yeah. I was a fresh 17.
I didn't know what was going on.
She was putting her
22.
old
put tapioca pudding on my dong, and I was like, "This is weird."
So she would, just to get it, there's like the pudding, right? And then you flip it upside down,
Yeah, she Abe Lincoln had my dick with it.
and then she popped it on.
Popped it on.
You had to be very hard to pop through that top.
No. She didn't make me bust through it. No,
okay.
she took the aluminum foil off, Dan. She's not a monster.
I
You
thought-
think she wanted me to punch like a Capri Sun with my dick? Oh,
Yeah. I was like, how fucking rock hard? Yeah, that's 17
That's a
hard.
crazy food to get involved in sex. It's like a grandmother dessert.
I said those little very clear, not seeable balls of tapioca. If that's what they're called.
Of yours?
We're in my
Pubes?
like pubes for days.
So you look like you had fucking like flashy pubes.
Do you wish it was chocolate?
Yes, I could have seen it better.
Yeah. Also, her loving the flavor of tapioca to be like,
No, but it was
Suck
so
some dick
not
with
sexy.
it.
So she slammed it on there and started like licking some of it off which was I remember making my wiener do like bouncy things, which now is like sort of flicking tapioca like
get this
around.
Making it worse.
Yeah.
It's making it
Where
worse.
did this
and
happen?
then very quickly she's realized, she goes, "Oh, it's like too. My body was too warm, and it's summertime, you know." And I'm it's just like melting. It's just like melting quickly in the room.
Hot
It's like
tapioca.
right.
Which-
So it's running in through my dick hair and my ball. And then she was like, even like, "Oh, it's like melting. Oh, we really can't do anything with this. Like, you have to take a shower." And I had to go get in the shower and like rinse it out.
Oh, I was picturing you did that in the cafeteria or
Yeah.
something.
On a bench.
During the prom.
Do me, yeah.
Do me right here.
We snuck off.
It's pizza day. Everyone's distracted.
And again, I was just out of the mix of cool kids enough to I couldn't tell you if anybody fucked at prom. I don't know. I would have said that nobody was. When I started fucking at 17, I guess it was, I was like, I was rolled into school with like, "Guys, if you have any questions, I'll be here all day. I did it." And they were like, I think a lot of them were kind of like, "Yeah, we don't fuck these chicks." Like, "I fucked so and so and so and so." I'm like, "That's happening here." I had no idea that was happening here. I thought all these people were good boys and girls.
Wait. I thought you guys were lip kissing.
Did you guys get tapioca on your balls?
Yeah. How did you wash your tapioca out?
I was a good boy.
Yeah. So you're like, wait, but everyone else was supposed to be good boys and girls.
I was so upset when, and by the way, that was the funny thing. When we made our move, our neighborhood was broken up by, it was up the hill and down the hill. Mike actually knows this, Becky. He used to go to the Italian-American club that was on the divide. He used to like to go and play a little pinochle with his old Italian buddies.
Does that make you
very
fall?
sweet.
Yeah, it
He
makes you
knows
fall in
that.
love more with them,
Oh,
doesn't
it's
it?
the best. So he would, so I lived in this down, and one time, like all the down the hill kids were like not even necessarily tough, but they were just like the kids that ran around the street. Seemed like their parents didn't give as much of a shit.
Yeah. The latchkey
didn't have any
kids.
responsibility, but I was a latchkey kid, but I had responsibility a lot too. But I was like, we wanted to be this. We gathered up a bunch of kids from up the hill, and we're like, let's just go hang out down the hill, just walk around and do what they do, except none of us smoke or anything, and drink. Was go walk around, and then we walked around, and they saw there's no shit talking going on. They just saw us and started like shit talking while we were there, and it's that point that I realized, I go, this is a bunch of other good boys I've gathered here. We're just all good boys. And then they started following us. And they had older kids with them. They had like kids that were not in high school even anymore.
dude.
Wow.
With like adult beards and Mustang 5.0s. And they were just like following us. And I was so terrified. And that's what I said. I've told you that story where I called everybody back because I was the slow one.
Yeah.
They were all getting away. And then the people chasing us were getting closer to me than I was to my friends. And I was like, and they were doing this, but I could hear them saying like, "Yo, man, we just want to talk." But they're not, they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Guys, they just want to talk. Come back." And they couldn't leave me. So
Sounds
they
like
had
the outsiders.
and they couldn't leave me behind because they're all good boys. They couldn't tell my mom that they left me behind. We're all
Damn.
good boys and they love Miss Terry.
Damn, dude.
You were the Soch. I think you were the
Yeah.
Soch.
No, we weren't picking on them.
They were picking on you.
Us. They were the socias. We
Dude.
were the greasers.
Oh my god, dude! The thought of you just being like, "Oh man, you guys aren't good at all. You guys are
I mean,
bad."
just names where I was like, oh no, they're gonna beat up me and Mike Mishanka,
Yeah. Mike's a sweet boy.
whose name I couldn't spell if you gave me 5,500 tries today.
Yeah, Mashenka.
I'm telling
What
you,
is it?
It's not spelled like Mishanka either. There's a lot of Y's and stuff in there that multiple, like Christine Yanya Hutchinson, like Christine Yanya.
Dude, yeah,
Mashenka.
that Indiana. I mean, you were dating motorcycle boys. You were dating the bad boys.
Oh yeah. Especially after I started smoking pot and I went over to the bad side of town.
Was that where you started hanging out with the bad kids?
Yeah. But I remember I would go to like these parties. I was like, oh my God, I'm like really cool. I was just like in someone's trailer with like 9 people, just
That's
like
so funny.
passing a blunt around.
So are you gonna wear a helmet like a pussy?
Yeah.
She's like, I like danger. I love it. I'm 16-year-old Katie Hannigan.
Yeah.
I live for danger.
I'm cool.
He's like,
Did your
"I'm not-"
parents have a problem with like, you know,
My parents were busy. My parents were fucking trying to hold it together.
really? So they're just
Yeah.
like, here's your dress. We made this. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
My mom was making the dress at nights, and then she did make the dresses. It was great, but my mom was like working nights at the emergency room, so my parents were not around a lot.
Do you have siblings
I have one brother.
younger
That's
than you?
it. Younger, yeah.
And were you babysitter?
Yeah.
It's something I mean you had a very similar. My parents both, my mom and step up. My mom finished up college when she was 30. or when she went back. And my stepfather started a little bit after my brother was born.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were both just like working regular jobs, and they were like, I guess we got to do something. And they became respiratory therapists working in like
Oh, wow.
emergency rooms, and they just did like 12-hour shifts. So I just had a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility. So I was a good boy because it was just like,
You had a lot of responsibility.
and my friends were the kids who were like willing to be like, well, I don't go hang out and drink and smoke. I'll come play video games and hang out with you and your baby brother.
Oh my
Aw.
God.
I was a bad girl. I was doing that, but I was also being bad.
You're like, I'm babysitting, but then I go Harley riding and pot smoking.
Bye.
That's sort of what we were doing. We were definitely trying to get our dick sucked and do all this stuff. But
Yeah, 'cause
like,
you're
at
all
the end of the day,
teenagers.
yeah.
Yeah, the bad kids, it was like 8th grade. All of a sudden, my friends were like, yeah, we smoke weed and we finger girls. And I was like,
Whoa.
whoa.
Yeah.
7th and 8th grade, I was like, we're 12.
Yeah.
That's
You're
a
gonna
lot.
get nicotine inside of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was smoking. Yeah. What are your yellow fingers going to do?
That's the good boy take. Were you guys hoping on the good boy take? Don't put fingers inside of them
I
before you
remember-
wash your hands.
Yeah.
Before girls, it was all about cigarettes. There was like the summer of in between 7th and 8th grade. It was
Yeah.
like more important, like getting cigarettes than it was.
Cigarettes were cool in the 90s. I remember I had little candy ones, and I would pretend to smoke them in my room. Like, oh,
Did they have the gum ones that would blow the powdered smoke? You
Those-
go,
oh yeah.
Those were awesome.
those ruled.
Yeah, and then I just started liking real cigarettes, and I was like, "These are cool."
I've gone full circle. I'm back to liking cigarettes more than girls again.
I'm
right back to that.
Yeah, I
I
like
just
the
go.
candy ones.
I go outside and smoke, and I go. You don't ever complain about anything. You're always here.
You don't tell me I'm acting weird.
Yeah. You don't ask me what's wrong. You sit and watch every Sixers game with me.
Sweet cigarette.
Sweet, beautiful cigarette.
Yeah, man. I mean, the fact that you have all homemade dresses is awesome. That's
Yeah.
like a fun throwback thing.
They were pretty cool. I think actually one year, my senior year, I think I did actually buy mine. I bought it from a thrift store.
How did you break your mom's heart?
I think she just didn't have time that year.
She's like, I can't hem.
But my mom made a lot of my clothes growing up. My mom would make me wear like these weird Little House on the Prairie like bonnets and stuff that she would make because she likes
Christ.
fashion. That's her hobby. Yeah.
She likes fashion of the 1700s.
Yeah. She goes, I stick with the
Log
Mayflower
cabin,
era.
yeah. Those are my prom dresses.
She goes, I like settling the West. Nothing later than that.
Nothing.
I don't want to
After
do
that.
anything later than that.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, we got to take a break. We're going to come back for a little more time.
Yeah, we'll have a few minutes.
We have a few minutes to hang out. Katie Hannigan's album is out now, right? It's out now?
Yes, it's out.
Go stream it. Go download it. A Feeling of Emptiness. She's hilarious. You can also check out her podcast with Sarah Talamash, Lady Journey, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's a good lineup.
Yeah, I love Sarah and Katie. Both hilarious. So go check out their podcast, Lady Journey. And we'll be right back on The Bonfire. Ta-ta.
Till then.
Just for a little. Welcome back to The Bonfire, Sirius XM Factor Talk 103. I'm Dan Soder. That's Big J. Okerson, our guest Katie Hannigan, who has a new album out, downloadable everywhere. You can also listen to her podcast. Oh, there it is. A Feeling of Emptiness, out now. Go download it, listen to it. She's hilarious. And then check out her podcast with Sarah Talamash, Lady Journey. Growing up in Indiana, you a big basketball fan?
No.
Didn't care.
I never.
Did they
really-
push it on you like skiing was pushed on us in Colorado?
No, it wasn't. I was just had no exposure to it at all.
Really?
And people were like, "Oh, don't you like basketball?" I'm like, I don't. I actually don't even know how it's played. I know you're supposed to go like throw it in the hoop.
There you go, Jay.
I know that, but
That's your advice for tonight's game. Just throw it in
throw it
the
in
hoop.
the hoop. Throw it in the hoop.
Has Mike made you a Eagles fan yet?
Yes, I love the birds. I
See?
love the birds. I love
Sixers?
football. I know football and I know about it.
Yeah.
I know all about it, and I love the purple team. That's my favorite.
Vikings?
Sure.
The Ravens?
Purple.
I said purple. I like all purple teams.
I like purple.
And the birds. Go bird. Oh, really? I'll get to those. Go birds.
That's really
Go
all you
birds.
heard.
I know I thought Mike liked animals at first. I was
It's
like,
like,
"Oh, it's so sensitive.
oh my God, he's into birds. That's so cute.
Oh, how about butterflies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should at least be familiar with the thing that's going to ruin a lot of your Sundays.
Yeah.
Sometimes your Mondays.
I watched the whole Super Bowl this year. I was in it and I paid attention the entire time and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Was it a good Super Bowl? I'm trying to remember what the Super Bowl was.
It was
the
pretty good.
Rams and the Bengals.
Rams, Bengals, right.
Bungles, Rams. Should have
Christine
been
likes the
Bengals, 49ers. But
Christine liked the halftime show, but mostly during sports, I just confuse her with keys. I just jingle keys.
she's like, what's this? What's going on over here?
And then
What's all
she
this
jingles
noise?
keys for the dog. It's a vicious cycle.
I
Yeah.
like going to the games a lot.
Going to
yeah.
Sixers games.
To
and
going to
stuff?
basketball games, I
Oh.
love going to the games, and going to football games. Like I love the energy of like the live event.
Sure.
I think it's
Yes,
great.
I do like that. I like to get drunk, and then it's just exciting. You don't know what's happening.
But then you're like,
Where
I
am
like to get Mike into a fight. I like to really ruin his time.
Yeah,
Turn
just
into a nice
scream.
scrap.
I like just fucking scratch a lady's eyeballs out. She just doesn't even know it's coming.
Yeah,
Drinking at sports games is very fun.
It is
Something
It
I
is.
miss about drinking. It was very fun to get a couple in you. And,
I never quite got it.
you have
I've
to
never
pee a
drank.
lot. That's the only part that sucks.
I always
Well,
want
I've
to
never
drink at a
drank-
baseball game.
That's
Yes,
the best.
You're outside.
That makes
That's the
baseball.
one to drink
Get a
too.
hot dog.
That's the sport to
warm
drink.
out.
It's warm. Summer to get a cold beer.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense to me, but I don't go to baseball games at all. But I've never fully got getting like drunk. When we went to the Eagles home opener this year,
Yeah.
like Tom hooked us up. We got hooked up from Tom from Gas Digital, and Tom, like whole family goes. And like by the middle of the game, like we were supposed to meet up at halftime, smoke a cigarette, and kind of catch up on the thing. We didn't. It was like, oh, meet you after the game. And then he even said by third quarter, he's like, I don't know where we were standing or sitting anymore. Like he was just lost. He's like, yeah, I don't know. He left. I got home somehow. And you're like, what? I'm like,
Wow.
how does all that happen?
I've only been
at a ga-
blackout. I don't know, man. I've been
At a
drunk.
game?
I've been drunk at a lot of stuff. The most blackout I've ever been was a baseball game.
Wow.
Because Coors Field has a lot of bars around it, and it was right
Isn't
after.
the bar in like the center field thing? Is that like
That's in Boston. It's Bleacher Bar
there's nothing like that in
at Mile High. I mean, in Denver,
yeah.
Coors Field. I don't
Coors
know.
Field.
I don't.
think
I'm
there
not.
is. I think there's like the Coors something's like right in the.
They have a lot of bars around there. They have a lot
I
of bars.
think in the outside one of like the home run areas, it's just like a fucking bar. It's like a bunch of people sitting like at
Dude.
tables like with, like high tops.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
classy.
of a lot of major league stadiums are like that where they have beer, like bars in the outfield or like
Yeah.
beer places and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was right after Montreal in 2011, and I went from Montreal to Denver for a friend's wedding, and it was like one of the get-togethers was going to a Rockies Cubs game, and I got blackout at a bar.
Wow.
Didn't even watch a pitch of baseball. Went to Coors Field and just drank somewhere don't remember it at all.
No.
Woke
Wow.
up and they were like, "Yeah, we went to a full baseball game." I was like, "Jesus."
Wow. Usually you black out at the wedding.
I did that.
Early.
I took a 40 milligram Adderall at the wedding, and so I was brought back
Doing
to
everyone's
life.
taxes.
He was doing wall flips like Gene Kelly.
I was I rose like a phoenix. I've been drinking for 2 weeks, and I was like, "Oh,
I feel it in my head to my toes. Anything goes.
la-da-da, I'm singing in the rain." And then
I
I
wanna hear
had
that
a.
speech that you made at the wedding.
I was like, "Dude, I'll fight everybody. I think everybody here is too big pussy, and no one will fight me." I had a breakdown the next day.
Oh God, that's tough.
I was
That's
hungover, and the Adderall wore off, and I
Ooh.
was at my mom's house, and she lives on a busy street, and I had to go get cigarettes on a hot day.
tough. Oh.
I can remember how my mouth
You just
tasted.
reminded me to think of Lewis's speech. Was it Viter's wedding?
The biggest bomb I've ever seen.
It was so funny. Though. Do you
Gary
know about this
Veter-
at all?
No.
Gary Veter had Lewis as his best man for his wedding, and everyone was like, "That's an odd pick. Didn't know you guys were that close." But everyone's there. We all show up for this wedding, and dude, the speech he followed from Gary's wife's cousin.
Family.
It was like her cousin, like the
Oh,
best
man.
friends, and it was
Yeah.
like, "I'm watching you grow up to be such a beautiful one." Murdered. And then Lewis goes up there and he's like,
Yeah, wait. You got to set up the situation here. Lewis has only done public speaking in his life
doing stand-up.
to stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's now not performing. He's giving the speech in front of an audience that is like 10% or less comedians.
I would say 10% is perfectly it. Like
Okay.
a majority of it is her family,
Yeah.
and then it's Veter's
His family who just like
His,
not.
his friends from college that we had never met,
Mm-hmm.
so they showed up and we had to like smell each other's butts because all the groomsmen were like comics and we're like, who are these guys? He's like, these are my best friends from when I was growing up.
Wow, and they were like jealous that you guys got to.
Probably.
Probably, but all I know is Lewis went up and made the whole speech a state of the industry.
Yeah,
To everyone
He's not exactly.
in the audience.
Right away he goes, marriage is a lot like stand-up comedy.
That was all the analogies. That
You
was,
go out every night and you work at it, and then eventually you become better. You know,
Comics
life
are
in
like
general.
family.
Yeah.
Comics we're the only family we got.
It's like, and then the difficult times come and you feel like God's giving you the red light, you know what I mean? And you got to wrap it up.
No.
But
Dude, I watched because I was sitting at a table where Lewis was. We were to the side of Lewis, so I got a view of who was watching him. I could see the people's faces, and you saw the people start with the smile of like Gary's friend, okay, and you saw their family be like, oh, to like,
pardon me.
is this gonna
Look at the titties on this pig. Is this mic already on?
Is this-
Hey, so
they're like their faces change. They're like, is this gonna be all about comedy?
it was
Wow.
only
And
about
then-
comedy.
Dude, and it went on too long.
Sometimes in life, you're gonna want to do something else, and your wife's gonna want to do something else. Like when Brian Scott McFadden bumps you on stage at Stand Up New
and you
York.
go, hey,
you
Wayne.
have to get
You
up.
go, Wayne.
Yeah.
That's pretty bullshit. I sold these tickets for posted off.
But you know my time was 9:15, and now it's 9:30, and I'm not on yet, and I have another spot.
Well, now are you going to drop checks? Are you going to drop checks
And
so
you
I'm
go-
my spot?
Anywho, such is life.
Love, jokes. But, dude, he got off. He got done. And it was like Norman and List were sitting at the next table. And List just gave one of those, like, Lewis was at my table. And he's like, shut the fuck up, List. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't, guys, was it that bad? And everyone had to be like, dude, that was.
What? Was what
Wow.
bad, dude? I was in the bathroom. What happened?
What
Talk?
hap-
Did you give a speech? I bet it was good.
Oh, dude.
It's always awkward when you see someone bomb and you have to be like, it was fine.
Good job.
Fine."
Your mother-in-law is like Esty in this situation.
She booked me, but the bitch says she didn't.
Yeah, she bucked me. She made the mistake, but she won't admit it, so now I gotta eat crow. Anywho, such is marriage.
It was my favorite coming together of two worlds that didn't blend.
Wow.
Oil and water.
But Lewis all he was thinking about was the 10 people he knew that were going to the wedding.
Yeah, he thought about me,
and
List, Norman,
and
Sam
touching their
Morril.
hearts
Yeah.
and touching their hearts and minds.
With an analogy.
Dude,
This is
yeah.
why I'm not having any comics at my wedding.
You shouldn't.
No.
Don't be invited.
No.
And I mean, I would hope to
No.
get invited, but
You-
I get if you don't.
You can come.
Katie can tell me how it went.
You guys can
She
come.
goes,
Yeah, Katie
"Oh
will
my
come.
Thank you.
Christine and Katie have to fill in Jay and I.
Literally nobody invites us to their wedding, so you have to invite us to your wedding.
Sit
Okay,
me
I will.
behind the gondola of the guy playing old Italian songs on a hand accordion.
You guys can go buy the roasted red peppers.
Oh, just sit me by Mike's mom so I can watch him kiss her hand a bunch and go, Mama.
Mama Vecchione. Their figs and prosciutto are top notch.
Mamma mia, the balls you're doing with the pasta
She's like, why are you talking like that? You've been to my house before.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
like, Mama Vecchione, on this special day, your boys are married.
It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But
Oh,
I
man.
totally get not wanting to have comics at your wedding.
That's why people do destination weddings. I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, South Africa. Hope you can make it.
Dude, my-
Sorry.
It's only 26 hours. Do you even care about
My
us?
buddy literally called me and was like, I'm getting married in August and it might be in Central America. I was like, what is this, a drop? Is this a
Yeah.
heroin drop?
Yeah.
Are we fucking shipping people?
Well,
It's a
you know,
line in the sand.
Vanessa's been muling through the quarantine
to
because
save for the wedding,
yeah,
probably.
she has a huge pussy and no job, so
So
we've been able to
apparently-
get her back and forth across the borders.
There's a suspect diamond mine in Uruguay, and she's been smuggling diamonds up through Central America.
Hoo-ha.
We have a lovely pavilion.
in her hey.
Yo, would you do stand up at your own wedding?
Oh, God. No. What kind of person do you think I am?
It'd just be funny if you're like, and now 5 minutes on marriage.
And now I like to subject everyone to myself.
Have you ever done a wedding that someone? We have to wrap this show in like a minute. Have you ever been to a wedding where somebody does a choreographed dance?
Oh,
I've been
Yes.
to 2. I've been to 2. And
I've
it's
been to multiple
fucking
weddings
insane.
where that's happened.
Yeah,
Been to
dude.
2?
It's insane.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm talking about, you know, you could probably just bring up the scene. You ever see the wedding scene in, it used to start with our old song. What's that Jake Gyllenhaal cop movie where it's like real gritty? End of Watch?
Yeah.
And they do like a thing where they work out some like crazy dance they do
Yeah,
together. If you
it's
could
a
find that
thing.
scene, it's so annoying.
It's a thing.
When Pauly Z from Z-Rock was married for 10 days to this girl. 10 days.
10 days is crazy.
That's probably less time than they rehearse the dance.
Absolutely it is. It's nuts. Yeah, that's the scene for sure. Anna Hetrick and him. We have another minute, Lou?
Yes.
Full minute? This is
Well,
worth
but
seeing.
while we're getting the video,
Yeah.
make sure you go get "Feeling of Emptiness," Katie
Yes.
Hannigan's new album. It's out now. Go listen.
Download. Stream.
Go listen to it. Download it and stream it.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. You know,
Oh, of course. Go see Dan this weekend in San
Man, you have to be like,
Francisco.
go see Jay in Ontario, California. You really have to be like,
Oh, dude, this is giving me uncomfortable feelings because I've been to this kind of a thing before. No, it's not this. You'll see. Record scratches. Oh, we've actually been working on a little something.
Yes, I saw at my friend's wedding. It was very similar.
Oh,
They
no.
did a
Exactly. That's
costume
like
change.
to
yeah.
a song like "Push It" on top of things.
no. I hate this. I know there's
my
people that have done
Christ.
this that are listening that are like, fuck, we did that.
Yeah,
Black
it's like
Lou?
you're trying to convince your friends
That's
that it's going to work.
almost Black Lou.
Almost.
You said no eventually. You put your foot down.
Yeah, my white friends wanted to do an NSYNC dance, and I told them to fuck off.
Oh, bless you.
Wait, Jay, whose weddings
We
did
have 5,
that?
4, 3,
5,
2,
2,
1.
1. Believe in
What?
Jesus.
Whose weddings?
Who's your basketball?
Paulie Z.
You've been listening to SiriusXM's Bonfire. New episodes every Tuesday through Friday mornings and full shows always on SiriusXM.